Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry George, and I'm sitting in for my friend and colleague, Clinton Reynolds, who is away this week and next week. Tonight on our program, we'll be looking at Big Brother coming to St. Lucia, and that's a new mentorship program that is designed to save young men and young women. And also, we'll be looking at how civil society is keeping governments on its toes, particularly with funding money that comes to St. Lucia. This is our Newsmaker Live program this evening. I'm Jerry George, and let me first of all introduce you to our first guest, which will be part one of our program, and he is Mr. Patrick Ferron, who is a senior counselor at the Boys Training Center. But you're here tonight, Mr. Ferron, basically to introduce us to the Big Brother, Big Sister program. We've heard a lot about this particular organization in other countries, particularly the United States, and it's coming to St. Lucia. Why?
Well, it could not be a more fitting time for the Big Brothers, Big Sisters program to be introduced to St. Lucia. Based on what we have as empirical evidence, as solid data, as to the difference such a program can have on a society, and with what we have observed happening in St. Lucia now, this is a perfect time to have a healthy mentoring program that can make a difference here the way these programs have made differences elsewhere.
No, you talk about data, meaning data from St. Lucia or data from the United States Big Brothers program?
Data from the United States Big Brothers program. To be more specific, there is a group known as Public-Private Ventures, which is a Philadelphia-based non-profit data research entity. And one of the things that they did over the years, and there was a big study, particularly in the early 1990s, where they looked at and of course they would have used all the basic aspects of what you do when you're doing a solid research. And when they came out with the results, they found out that those boys and girls who were introduced to the program had a solid performance state that was so much better than anything in the group that was not a part of the program. For example, they found that these boys and girls in the program were doing about 50% better in school. Behaviorally, they were about 40% better in terms of proclivity to fight, proclivity to be absconding from home, or being truant from school.
So what is the data that is from St. Lucia that is sort of encouraging you or pushing you forward to introduce the program for you know, Big Brothers and Big Sisters in St. Lucia?
You know, one of the things that may be frightening to St. Lucians, but this is data that we have here, and it's a combination of data that would have been gathered during the period when the National Commission on Crime was active, and after when CAPS
that's correct,
became a part of the crime collection data here in St. Lucia. Now here is what we're having. The 10-year period from 1995 to 2004, every month on average, this is what we had. Rapes and indecent assaults, 9 every month. Murders, 2. Grievous harm, woundings, 111. Assaults, 131. Stealings, thefts, 223. Robberies, 23. Purdy larceny, 18. Firearm offenses, 11. Drug offenses, 42. What we're talking about,
yeah, I was just about to say, it sounds very dismal, very, you know, traumatic. But at the same time, you're not saying that young people are responsible for these types of figures. Well, is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because that's the very next point I wanted to make.
Okay.
Both from the National Crime Commission and from CAPS, and if you listen to some of the back speeches given by government ministers, most of the crimes, the offenses, are being committed by the very young. You're talking about teenagers and persons in their 20s, a little less in their 30s too. So you're talking about a number of problems that we're faced with now that involves the young persons who, if we don't find a way to intervene and to do something about it in a healthy way, we're going to be watching beautiful Helen of the West become real ugly socially.
Now, Mr. Farron, this is very admirable, I must say. But at the same time, we always sort of put a blame on, or a black mark on young people. And I think what a lot of us would like to see is that the responsibility that has to lie on our adults in terms of how young people have come to be where they are as a result of perhaps not enough guidance, perhaps not enough confidence in the ways of these young people. What are you doing in terms of ensuring that the adults who are going to provide the mentors, mentorship for these young persons, are not people who are not going to do them any good?
Very good question, and very good point for all persons to recognize. Now, one of the things about mentoring programs such as these, we do not just take people off the street and insert them into a mentoring program and say, okay, you look like somebody who can do some good. Why don't you come over here and join us?
Okay.
No, there is a screening process that has to be a part of it. For example, I'm an executive member of the Big Brothers Big Sisters of St. Lucia. Initially, for us to even be as a part of that body, we had to go through, get our police record, we have to go through the screening, and we have to make sure that we at the top start out the right way. So all the others who are coming in will be screened in such a way that we can be satisfied, the public can be satisfied, everyone can be satisfied that these persons are fit and equipped to the task. Now, the other part of the point you made, the adults in society have a big responsibility to play. Now, we know that many adults have vacated their post. They have left their responsibilities to maybe others, sometimes not even relatives. So we're not going to spend time arguing which way or who is responsible for what. What we're going to do is to find those persons who are interested and equipped to make a difference, to come on board and be a